Evan walked into the alien town with quiet steps. His boots hit the dusty stone road, and the cold wind brushed against his jacket. He came here only to buy fuel and some food. Nothing more, but the town felt strange today. Too quiet, too empty, like everyone was hiding from something. Shops were half closed, windows cracked, and the air felt heavy. Evan looked around. Confused, then he saw her. A small alien girl stood alone near a wooden board. She had purple skin, silver eyes, and messy white hair falling over her cheeks. Her clothes were torn, her feet dusty. In her hands, she held a small piece of paper that said, "My mother is sick." "I need work." Evan stopped walking. His chest tightened. She looked far too young to work. Maybe 7 or 8 years old. But her eyes were old with pain. He walked closer, slowly, so he wouldn't scare her. When he reached her, he knelt down and gave a gentle smile. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. The girl looked at him with fear. A deep, heavy fear no child should have. "You should not talk to me," she whispered. "If they see you, they will hurt you too." Evan frowned. "Who will hurt me?" She looked left, then right, as if shadows were watching her. "Hunters," she whispered. "They watch this place. They follow me." Evan felt a chill run through him. The girl looked hungry, tired, and scared. She wasn't lying. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lira," she replied in a small voice. Before he could speak again, her legs shook like she was going to fall. Evan quickly reached out and held her arms so she wouldn't collapse. The moment his hand touched her skin, something strange happened. Her skin glowed softly with blue light. Just for a second, her eyes widened, and she pulled away fast as if she had touched fire. "No," she gasped. "I didn't mean to. I'm sorry." "I'm sorry. Please go away." Evan looked at his hand. A faint blue mark shined for a moment and then faded. "What happened?" he asked. Lira looked like she wanted to cry. "You touched me. Now you are in danger." Evan shook his head. "I'm not leaving you alone." Lira stepped back until her shoulders hit the wooden board. She hugged her arms around her small body and whispered, "Everyone left me. No one helps us. They say we are cursed." He felt anger rise inside him. Not at the girl, but at the world that treated her this way. "Where is your mother?" he asked. "Home," she said, her voice weak. "She is very sick. She can't walk. She can't breathe sometimes." "Take me to her," Evan said. Lyra's eyes widened. "No. If the hunters see you with me, they will kill you. They don't want anyone near us." He stood up slowly, looked around the street, and saw only silence. And yet, he also felt eyes watching from somewhere above. "I don't care," he replied. "Let them try." The little girl looked at him for a long moment, like she was trying to decide if he was foolish or brave. Finally, she nodded and whispered, "Follow me." They walked through the silent alien town, passing old buildings with broken signs. The air was cold, and every shadow looked darker than before. Evan walked behind her, but soon he felt something strange. His hand where he touched her was warm, almost hot. A strange energy moved up his arm. He tried to ignore it. Lira kept looking behind them every few seconds. "They are watching," she whispered. "I can feel them." Evan looked back too. A tall figure stood far away on a rooftop, dark and still, like a statue. And when Evan blinked, the figure vanished. Lira grabbed his hand. "Don't stop, please." They walked faster, turning into narrow streets and climbing down broken stairs until they reached a small house made of metal sheets and wood. It looked like it could fall apart any second. "This is home," Lira said, her voice small and sad inside. The air smelled cold and sickly. A woman lay on a thin bed, her skin glowing the same faint blue as Lira's. Her breathing was slow painful. "Mother," Lira whispered, taking her hand. The woman opened her eyes weakly. When she saw Evan, her eyes widened with fear. "Why is a human here?" She asked, "Lira, what have you done?" "He helped me," Lira said. "He didn't leave me." The mother coughed and tried to sit up. "Human, you must go. You touched her, didn't you?" Evan nodded, only for a moment. "Then you must leave now," the mother said with urgency. "You have been marked. They will come for you." "Who?" Before anyone could answer, a loud thud shook the door. Lira froze. Her mother grabbed Evan's wrist. "It's too late," she whispered. "They found us." A shadow moved under the door. Heavy footsteps thudded on the ground outside. Evan felt his heart hammering. The strange energy in his arm grew hotter. Stronger. He placed Lira behind him. The footsteps stopped. The world went silent. Then someone outside spoke in a cold, sharp voice. "Open the door. Bring us the child." And that was the moment Evan knew. His life had just changed forever. The door shook again. Harder this time, the walls trembled. Dust falling from the ceiling, Lira held Evan's shirt tightly, her small hands shaking as fear filled her silver eyes. Her mother tried to sit up, but her weak body could barely move. "Evan," she whispered, "listen to me. You must take Lira and run." Evan shook his head. "I'm not leaving you both." Another heavy thud hit the door. A deep voice growled, "Open it, or we break it." Lyra's mother looked at Evan with tired but serious eyes. "You do not understand. Humans are strong, yes, but these hunters, they are trained to take our kind. They will not stop." Evan clenched his fists. The strange blue warmth from Lyra's touch still pulsed in his arm, growing hotter with every heartbeat. "Let them come," he said. The mother closed her eyes in pain. "You talk like a warrior, but you don't know the truth." The door cracked. Wood splitting, the heavy lock screeched and bent inward. Lira covered her ears, tears running down her cheeks. Her mother whispered, "They don't want me. They want Lira." Evan's eyes widened. "Why?" Before the mother could answer, the door finally burst open. Splinters flew across the room. 3 tall alien hunters stepped inside. Their black armor reflected red light, and their helmets looked like metal skulls. The one in front pointed at Lira. "The child is marked. Bring her." Lira screamed and hid behind Evan. Evan stood tall, blocking the hunters. "You're not taking her." The second hunter laughed. "Look at this human, trying to be a hero." The leader raised his hand. "Move aside, human. This child carries the sickness of the ancient blood. She belongs to us." Evan didn't move. The blue glow under his skin grew stronger. Burning like fire, Lyra's mother forced herself to speak. "It is not a sickness. It is a blessing, a power from our ancestors. She inherited it early, too early. That is why they fear her." The leader hunter snapped. "Silence. You know nothing." Evan glared at them. "So you hunt a child because she is different?" The hunter took a step forward. "Because she is dangerous." Lira trembled behind Evan. "I don't want to hurt anyone," she cried. "I just want my mother to get better." The room fell silent for a moment. The hunters didn't care. They didn't listen. They only saw Lira as a weapon to capture. The leader extended his hand, red energy glowing around his gauntlet. "Take her." Evan's hand moved on instinct. He pushed Lira behind the bed and stood in front of the hunters. "You want her. Come through me first." The leader tilted his head. "Very well." He lifted his arm and fired a blast of red energy. It shot across the room like lightning, but Evan moved faster than he ever had in his life. His hand glowed bright blue as he blocked the blast. The energy exploded against his arm. But he didn't fall. The hunters stepped back in shock. "Impossible," one whispered. "The human, he carries the mark now, Evan looked at his arm, the blue light dancing like fire under his skin. "This happened when I touched her," he said. "What did you do to us?" Lira cried. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give it to you." The mother reached out weakly. The ancient blood was always strong, but in humans, it awakens something even greater. The leader hunter growled. "He is a threat now. Take them all," the hunters charged. The room filled with chaos. Evan grabbed a broken chair and used it as a shield. He swung it at the first hunter, knocking him into the wall. The second hunter rushed toward Lira, but Evan leapt in front of him. He didn't understand how he moved so fast. His body felt lighter, stronger, like every muscle was supercharged. He caught the hunter's arm and twisted it, throwing him to the floor. The shock on the hunter's face said everything. The third hunter grabbed the mother from the bed. Lira screamed. "Leave her alone." Evan felt something snap inside him. The blue fire in his arm exploded outward. He swung his fist through the air. A wave of blue energy burst from his hand and slammed into the hunter, sending him flying across the room. The mother fell back onto the bed, exhausted but safe. Evan stood in the center of the room, his arm glowing like a lantern, his breath heavy, his eyes burning with determination. The leader hunter rose slowly, armor cracked. This human, he is becoming one of them. Lira ran to Evan, hugging him tightly. "Please don't leave us. Don't let them take me." Evan placed a hand on her head. "I won't, I promise." The leader stepped back toward the door. "You may win this fight, human, but others will come. The girl must be taken. Her power is rising. If she loses control, she will destroy everything around her." Lira shook her head, tears streaming. "I don't want to hurt anyone," the leader pointed at Evan. "And you. The more the mark spreads inside you, the more dangerous you become." Evan stared at him. "Then I'll learn to control it." The hunters retreated out the broken door, leaving threats behind them. Lyra's mother collapsed back onto the bed, breathing weakly. "Evan, you must listen," she whispered. "This power is not simple. It changes your heart, your mind. Your fate." Evan knelt beside her. "I don't care what it changes. I'm not abandoning you." She looked at him with tired eyes. "Then you must know the truth about Lira, and about what you are becoming." Evan's heart pounded. "Tell me." The mother took a deep breath, her voice shaking. "The hunters were not lying about everything. Lyra's power is growing fast, and now it is waking inside you too." Lira took Evan's hand, her voice trembling. "Please don't leave me." Evan squeezed her hand. "Never." But deep inside, he could feel it. The blue fire was spreading, and nothing would ever be the same. Night fell over the small alien town like a heavy blanket. The sky turned dark purple, and cold winds slipped through broken windows. Lira sat beside her mother. Holding her hand gently, Evan stood near the door, listening to every sound outside, ready for anything. The bite mark on his arm glowed faintly under the dim light. Blue lines spread across his skin like soft lightning. He pressed his hand to it, trying to calm the burning heat spreading through his veins. Lira watched him with worried eyes. "Does it hurt?" she asked. "A little," Evan said. "But I'm fine." Her mother let out a weak breath. "It will get stronger," she whispered. "The power inside you is waking faster than expected." Evan looked at her. "Tell me everything. I need to know what we are dealing with." The mother opened her eyes slowly. "Our bloodline is ancient, long before this town existed. We carry an energy that reacts to danger, fear, and emotions. In us, the power is slow and unstable." She looked at Lira with sad eyes. "But in her, it is fast, too fast." Lira lowered her head. "I didn't want this," she whispered. "I only wanted my mother to get better." Evan knelt beside Lira. "Hey, none of this is your fault." Lira looked up, her silver eyes full of tears. "People call me cursed. Hunters chase me. Everyone runs away. Evan placed a hand on her shoulder. I'm not running. Before anyone could speak more, a soft metallic sound echoed outside, like armor scraping on stone. Evan stood instantly, his heart pounding. The mother's voice trembled. They're back. Evan looked through the cracks of the broken window. Shadows were moving across the street, tall shapes with glowing red lines on their armor. They spread out, surrounding the house. There are more this time, Evan whispered. Lira grabbed his hand tightly. Please don't fight them alone. Evan squeezed her hand. I'll protect you both. No matter what. The mother stared at the door, fear in her eyes. They won't stop until they take her. A loud voice echoed from outside. Human, step away from the child. Evan's jaw tightened. Not happening. Another voice shouted. This is your last warning. The house shook as something heavy slammed into the side wall. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lira screamed and covered her ears. Evan pulled her close. Stay behind me. The door exploded inward as a huge hunter smashed through it. His armor glowed brighter than the others, marking him as a commander. He pointed a weapon made of red crystal straight at Evan. Human, the commander growled. You carry the ancient mark. You are now a threat to this entire region. Evan stepped forward. I'm only a threat to people who hurt children. The hunter swung his weapon. Firing a beam of red energy, Evan raised his arm on instinct. The blue power in his veins surged and formed a glowing shield around his hand. The blast hit it and scattered like sparks. Lyra's eyes widened. Evan, you used the shield. Evan breathed hard. I didn't even know I could. The commander snarled and charged. Evan dodged to the side. His body moved faster than he expected. Like the power was guiding him, he grabbed a broken metal pipe from the floor and swung it hard, smashing it against the hunter's helmet. The hunter stumbled but didn't fall. His armor sparked with red lightning outside. More hunters entered through the windows. 3 of them, crawling inside like shadows. The mother weakly lifted her hand. Lira. Listen, she whispered. You must control your energy. I can't, Lira cried. It hurts. It burns inside me. Evan fought another hunter, kicking him back into a wall. His strength was growing fast. Too fast. Every strike felt easier, every movement sharper. But the commander was still standing. He lifted his weapon again, pointing at Lira. The girl is unstable, he said. Her power will explode soon if she loses control. She will destroy this entire town, Lira cried. No, I won't. I promise. The mother forced herself to stand, trembling. Do not touch her. The commander ignored her. Stepping forward, Evan's anger erupted. Blue fire flashed across his skin. His vision turned bright for a moment. A deep growl rose in his chest. He rushed at the commander with inhuman speed, slamming into him and knocking him through the broken door. Both fell outside, rolling in the dirt. The commander punched Evan in the chest. Sending him sliding back, Evan stood again instantly. Sparks of blue energy falling from his arms. The commander stared at him. Your transformation is almost complete, human, he said. You cannot control it. I'll learn, Evan growled. And I'll use it to protect her. 2 hunters grabbed Lira inside the house. Lifting her off the ground, she screamed. Evan, help me. Evan turned instantly, sprinting back inside. His feet crushed the ground with each step. Blue light burst behind him like flames. He leapt into the air and slammed into the 2 hunters. Knocking them flat, Lira fell, but Evan caught her before she hit the ground. He held her tight. I got you. She clung to him, sobbing. Don't let them take me. The commander stepped back into the house. Furious. Enough, he shouted. All of you will be taken. Evan stood in front of Lira and her mother, his body glowing brighter than ever. Come then, he said. Let's see who walks out. The hunters surrounded them. Red lights flashing, weapons humming, Lyra's mother whispered weakly, "Evan, you cannot fight them all." Evan kept his eyes on the hunters. "I don't need to," he said. "I only need to hold until help comes." "Help?" Lyra cried. "Who will help us?" Evan stared at the dark window behind the commander. A figure stood there, tall and silent, armor shining blue like Evan's new power. And the figure spoke, "I will." The hunters froze. Lyra gasped. Evan's eyes widened. Someone had come for them, someone powerful. And everything was about to change. The room went silent as the blue-armored figure stepped through the broken window. His boots hit the ground softly, but the air around him shook with power. His armor glowed with the same blue energy that now burned inside Evan's veins. Lyra held Evan's shirt tightly, trembling. Who is he?" She whispered. Evan didn't know, but something inside him felt connected. Like the blue fire in his arm recognized the stranger, the mother stared weakly, her eyes widening in fear and hope together. The hunters stepped back. Confused and tense, the commander growled. Another one, infected with the ancient mark. The blue-armored figure lifted his hand, blue sparks swirling around his fingers. "No," he said in a calm, deep voice, "not infected. Awakened." The blue energy pulsed around the stranger like gentle waves. Evan felt the same pulse inside him. Almost like the stranger's presence strengthened the power in his body, the commander pointed his weapon. "State your name." The stranger stepped forward. "My name is Kale," he said. "And I'm here for the human." Evan tensed. "For me?" Kale nodded slowly. "Yes, you carry a power no other human has ever survived. I sensed your awakening from miles away." Lyra grabbed Evan's hand tightly. "He's not taking you," she whispered fearfully. Kale looked down at her, his blue eyes calm. "Child." "I am not your enemy," the commander interrupted, stepping closer. "Enough talk," he snarled. "We take the girl now." Kale's armor glowed brighter. "You will not touch her." The commander swung his weapon. Shooting a bolt of red energy toward Kale, the blast hit Kale directly. But the energy disappeared into his armor, like water sinking into sand. Kale didn't even move. The hunters looked shocked. "Impossible," one whispered. "His shield absorbed everything." Kale turned to Evan. "Your body will do this soon." Evan felt the heat in his arm growing again, burning like a growing flame. "I don't understand any of this," he said, breathing hard. "Why do I have this power?" Kale pointed at Lyra. "Because she gave you the ancient spark." Lyra froze, tears filling her eyes. "I didn't mean to," she whispered. "I never wanted to hurt him." Kale knelt in front of her. "You didn't hurt him. You awakened him?" Evan placed a hand on Lyra's shoulder. "It's okay," he whispered. "I'm here because of you. And I don't regret it." The commander had enough. "I don't care about their connection," he shouted. "Take the girl." All the hunters rushed forward at once. Red lights flashing on their armor, Kale stood and took a single step forward. The ground cracked beneath his foot. Then he raised his hand and unleashed a pulse of blue energy that filled the entire room with light. The hunters flew backward, as if thrown by an explosion. They crashed into walls, furniture, and broken beams. Sparks falling around them, Evan shielded Lyra with his arms. But the blue pulse didn't harm them. Instead, he felt stronger, more alive. Like the energy inside him was answering Kale. The commander struggled to stand. "You? You are one of them," he said, shaking with rage. "One of the ancient guardians." Kale's eyes glowed brighter. "I am the last." The commander turned his weapon toward Lyra again. "But the girl, she is not a guardian. She is unstable, a danger to everyone," Lyra cried. "I don't want to be dangerous." Kale looked at her gently. "You are not dangerous, but you are awakening too early. Your body cannot control the ancient blood. Evan stepped forward. So what do we do? Kale looked at Evan's glowing arm. The human must absorb part of her power. Evan froze. What? Lira gasped. No, that will hurt him. Kale shook his head. It will hurt both of you. But it is the only way to keep her alive. If she awakens fully without control, she will explode with energy. Lira trembled. I don't want to explode, she whispered, terrified. Evan knelt in front of her, lifting her chin gently. Hey, look at me, he said softly. I won't let that happen. She hugged him tightly. But you'll get hurt, Evan smiled. I've been hurt before. I'll survive this too. Kale placed his hand over Evan's glowing arm. The blue energy responded instantly. Swirling around both of them, the commander roared. Stop them, but the other hunters were too injured to move fast. Kale looked at Lira. Child, give him your hand. Lira slowly placed her small glowing hand in Evan's. Their lights connected, swirling together. Evan felt a rushing wave of heat entering his body, exploding through every nerve. He gritted his teeth, trying not to scream. Blue fire wrapped around them, rising like a storm. Lira cried out too, her body shaking. But Evan wrapped his arms around her, holding her close. I'm here, he whispered through the pain. I'm not leaving you. The mother watched weakly, tears in her eyes. Please, save my daughter. Kale kept his hand over theirs, guiding the energy. Hold on, both of you, he said. It is almost done. The hunters stared in horror as the blue flames grew, swirling like a vortex around Evan and Lira. The commander stepped back, fear in his voice. He is absorbing her awakening. Finally. The bright storm faded. Evan collapsed to his knees, still holding Lira tightly. Her glowing marks were dim now. Stable, not burning, her breathing slow and calm. Evan, however, shook with exhaustion, blue sparks crackling across his skin. Kale stepped closer, placing a steady hand on his shoulder. You did it, he said. You saved her. Evan lifted his head weakly. Is she safe? Kale nodded. For now. Lira opened her eyes slowly and whispered, Evan? He held her close. I'm right here. But Kale's face grew serious as he looked at the hunters gathering outside. This fight is not over, Kale said. Now that the human has awakened, the real war begins. And Evan felt it too. The blue fire inside him had changed. It was no longer just power. It was destiny. Blue sparks danced across Evan's arms as he stood slowly. His legs shook from the energy he had absorbed, but his eyes stayed sharp and focused. Lira leaned against him, breathing softly, her power now calm. No longer burning out of control, Kale stepped beside them, looking out through the broken doorway. The street outside was filled with red lights. Dozens of hunters were gathering, their armor glowing bright like burning coals. The commander, now bruised and furious, pointed at the house. The girl is stabilized, he shouted, but the human, he is now too powerful to be allowed to live. Lira gasped and held Evan tighter. No, please no. Kale raised his hand, blue light swirling around his fingers. Stay behind me, both of you, he said calmly. But Evan shook his head. No, I'm done hiding. Kale looked at him seriously. You are still learning to control your power. Evan clenched his fists as blue fire wrapped around his arms. Then I'll learn in the fight, outside. The hunters raised their weapons, red energy crackling. The air felt heavy, full of danger. Lyra's mother weakly sat up in bed, her voice trembling. Evan, listen to me. Evan turned. Yes? You are connected to her now, she said, looking at Lira. Your hearts share the same power. If she is hurt, you will feel it. If you fall, she will weaken too. Evan nodded slowly. Then I will not fall, the commander shouted. Attack! Red beams shot toward the house like lightning. Cale slammed his foot down, and a huge blue barrier exploded outward. Blocking the blasts, the walls shook, dust falling everywhere. Evan took a deep breath and stepped forward. Cale grabbed his arm. "You are not ready." Evan looked straight into his eyes. "Maybe not, but she needs me." Cale hesitated, then nodded once. "Very well." Together, they stepped out into the cold night. Blue and red lights flashing across their armor and skin. The hunters charged, screaming their battle cry. Their boots thundered across the ground. Cale leapt forward first, blue blades forming in his hands. He spun through the enemy lines like a storm, cutting through their weapons, breaking their armor. His movements were perfect. Trained, powerful, Evan followed behind him. His body moving faster than he could think, the blue fire guided him, showing him where to dodge, when to strike. Every motion sharp and strong. A hunter swung a red blade at Evan's neck. Evan ducked, grabbed the enemy's arm, and flipped him onto the ground with a single pull. His strength shocked even him. Another hunter attacked from behind. Evan turned and punched forward. Blue energy exploded from his fist. Sending the hunter flying into a wall, Cale glanced back at him. "Good. You are adapting quickly." Evan felt the fire growing inside him. Brighter, stronger. "I can do this," he said, breathless. But the commander stepped forward, larger and stronger than the others. His armor glowed blood red, and his eyes burned with anger. "You think you can win, human?" he growled. "Let me show you your fate." He rushed at Evan, swinging a giant red energy blade. Evan tried to block, but the impact was too strong. The blade slammed into Evan's arm and sent him crashing into the ground. Lira screamed from inside the house. "Evan!" Her cry ignited the fire inside him again. He stood up, shaking, blue sparks flying from his shoulders. The commander attacked again, but this time Evan dodged and countered with a glowing punch that cracked the commander's chest plate. The commander snarled and grabbed Evan by the throat. Lifting him into the air, Evan struggled, gasping. Lira ran toward the door, tears falling. "Let him go." Her mother pulled her back weakly. "Stay inside, child." "You cannot lose control again." Cale tried to reach Evan, but 3 hunters blocked him, keeping him away. The commander tightened his grip. "Your power is strong, human, but unstable. You cannot control it without destroying yourself." Evan's vision darkened, but then he heard Lyra's voice again, shaking and full of fear. "Please, don't leave me." A spark lit in his chest. The blue fire exploded outward, brighter than ever before. His entire body glowed like a star. He grabbed the commander's arm and crushed the metal with his bare hand. The commander screamed and dropped him. Evan landed on his feet, blue flames rising around him like wings. His voice was deeper, full of power. "You hurt her family," he said, stepping forward. "You hunted her." He raised his glowing arm. "Now you face me," the commander charged. But Evan moved faster. He slammed his fist into the ground, sending a blue shockwave across the battlefield. The shockwave hit every hunter, lifting them off their feet and throwing them across the street. Some hit walls, some rolled in the dirt, all defeated. The commander fell to his knees, armor breaking, lights dimming. Evan walked toward him, fire fading slowly from his arms. The commander looked up with fear. "What? Are you?" Evan stood over him, breathing hard. "Someone who protects children." The commander collapsed. Defeated, silence fell over the town. Only the soft wind moved through the broken houses. Lira ran out of the house and jumped into Evan's arms, hugging him tightly. "You came back," she cried. Evan lifted her gently. "I promised I would." Her mother smiled weakly from the doorway. You saved us all. Cale stepped forward, placing a hand on Evan's shoulder. Your awakening is complete, he said, but your journey is only beginning. Evan looked down at Lira, who held on to him like he was her whole world. Then she's coming with me, he said. Both of them, Cale nodded. A new family, forged by power and choice. Evan smiled softly. No, he said, forged by love. And as the night finally grew calm, Evan carried Lira and her mother toward a safer place, leaving behind the town that once feared them, and stepping into a new future where a human, a child, and a dying mother would become something more, something unbreakable, something HFY.